Hey everyone, Daniel Hoffman-Zinnel here with Keenan Crow, our Director of Policy and Advocacy. We've had a few things happen since our last video that we wanted to start by talking about specifically. Keenan, let's talk about the Free Speech on College Campus bill first.
Yeah, so unfortunately the Free Speech on College Campus bill has passed. It passed in the Senate. There were a couple amendments, and I want to thank Senator Walz for his excellent amendment that would have solved all of our issues with that particular bill. So thank you for him. Thank you for all the Senate Democrats for voting for that particular amendment. I was disappointed to see that 5 Democrats voted for the full bill, even after that amendment failed. So that is disappointing to me. And then over in the House, though, I thought, even though it passed, that the House Democrats leveled an excellent defense.
Yep.
I mean, so many
very passionate,
great floor speeches, so much great information in those floor speeches. And I also want to thank Megan Jones, who was the only Republican who broke with her caucus to vote against that bill. And I know she didn't do it just because of our concerns. There were a couple of other reasons as well. But I do want to sincerely thank her because it always is tough to vote against your caucus, especially when you have a bipartisan bill coming over from the Senate. And so while I am disappointed, I think that's the one, maybe silver lining there is we at least had some bipartisan resistance in the House.
That's right, yes. Well, another thing that recently passed out of the Senate was the judicial nomination changes. So where are we at on that bill specifically?
That's basically where we are. It's out of the Senate, but it's not out of the House yet. And so we will see what happens in the House. It is pretty funnel proof at this point, and so they have all the time in the world. They don't have to debate it before the second funnel. They can keep waiting on that one, and so I imagine that's what they'll do is they'll start hammering out different details on that amongst the caucus until they get something that they think that can pass. So that is an opportunity to talk to your House members.
Yes, reach out to your House members
and say, this is not something that we want. We don't need these changes. This is not necessary. The system is not broken, and so let's not fix the not broken system in this case.
We have a very fair-minded court process.
Absolutely.
Already.
Yep, absolutely. So that's kind of where we're at right now on that one. That one is still able to be influenced and still able to be stopped at this point.
Okay. What are some of the other ones that we've been watching that we're still on the look on?
So the only other major one that I'm aware of that had any movement since our last video, and I'm trying to remember how long it was, just 2 weeks ago. That first week was really, really busy, and then this last week was relatively quiet in terms of the bills that we care about. But one good thing that I saw movement on was the mental health and suicide prevention bill that would require mental health awareness to be taught in school health classes. It was grades 9 through 12. It looked like there was a Senate amendment that expanded that to grades 7 through 12, and so it was an already good bill. It looks like they are intent on making it better, which is always a good thing. And so I did see that vote was deferred, though, and so what that means is not that they're not going to vote on it, and doesn't mean that they voted against it. It just means that they're going to vote on it at a later time. Once again, that normally indicates that they're hammering out some details. And so hopefully that will pass. That is Senator Schneider's bill. He is the Senate president, and so I imagine that it has quite a bit of bipartisan support and will be able to clear. But as always, you could use a nudge from anyone else. So that one, you can talk to either your House members or your senator on that because it has not passed either chamber yet.
Okay. Well, we are quickly approaching second funnel, which is April 5th, so we potentially will be seeing some more movement getting closer to that date, so be on the lookout for potential action alerts as they come about.
And I think I misstated that it was April 11th last time. It is, in fact, April 5th.
Friday,
so
April
a little closer than I may have indicated previously. But Friday, April 5th will be second funnel. And what that means, just for a recap, is that it has to be out of both chambers committees by
Yeah.
that point. So it has to be out of a Senate committee and a House committee in order to still be eligible for debate.
Well, we do have a fun collaborative event coming up that we're partnering with a variety of organizations. Can you share some details on that?
Yeah, so we have an LTE writing campaign and an advocacy training.
Stands for letters to the editor.
Yeah, sorry. We use too many abbreviations around here. So that is coming up on March 28th. It's going to be at the Planned Parenthood offices downtown
Yep.
from 6 to 7 p.m., I believe. We are partnering with ACLU and Planned Parenthood and NARAL, and we will be talking about some of these issues that haven't been resolved before that second funnel and trying to get people to write letters to the editor about those topics or contact their legislators, or we'll try to give them the best tools for the job there.
And shout out to One Iowa Action Board member Georgia for writing an LTE specifically in response to the Medicaid case that's happened recently. So
Yeah, there's
thank
been a
you
lot
to-
of information floating
Yes.
around about that and what medical necessity means
Yes.
and cost and various other things. And Georgia wrapped a lot of
Yes.
those topics up very nicely. in
Yes,
that
thank
letter.
you, Georgia.
Yeah.
Well, sign up for action alerts. Go to our website. Follow us on Facebook. Stay up to date on all the things that we're working on. Thank you for being there each and every day. And we'll be back in a couple weeks to give another update. Thanks for tuning in.
Thanks.